Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about this week's TV news. This is a weekly news video where we just kind of ramble about everything that happened this week. Anything interesting, maybe talk a little bit about what happened in the channel this past week as well, if there's any updates or announcements to make, of which there isn't really any this week. It was a pretty small week in that sense.
Should probably only bring that up when there is stuff to say, because otherwise you're just going to say this every week.
I know, but I like to have them to expect it, you know.
Maybe bring it up every other week.
This is a place that we do that if we're going to do it, but this week was kind of nothing new started, nothing particularly exciting happened. Also, it's a slightly quieter week in the news as well. That's not to say there's not interesting things, but there wasn't like 15 pilots to.
Oh, that's nice.
To like tell you about, because pilot season is officially kind of done for the most part, so we're out of that phase.
Whew. Can relax a little bit then.
But yeah, still some interesting stuff. Obviously, at the end of the show, we also pick our favourite episode of TV of the week and other little bits and bobs. But let's get into news. So, a couple of quick things first. Lucifer was renewed for season 3 by Fox. Full 22 episodes it's getting this time. Not that I got less than that last time, but I think maybe last time it was like 13 first and then back 9.
Yeah, I think so. It's also on a break. It's doing that weird thing that Fox are doing at the minute that's utter bullshit. It's this winter finale stuff that they're doing. So they have the mid-season before Christmas. They came back, did 3 episodes, and now they're on a break till April.
You're complaining about that, but we're actually praising that with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, no, but 3 episodes.
Okay, yeah, 3 is
That's
bullshit.
too short. That it's if it was like 6 episodes and then a break, fine. But 3 episodes is too short to do anything.
It's not affecting any of the shows I watch, so I don't care.
It's not. I know Gotham's doing it and Brooklyn Nine-Nine's doing it.
Well, I do like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I just binge
Don't watch that weekly. Yeah,
I binge that.
I just started playing out that it's a trend that's happening, and I don't like it. Needs to stop.
I'll get a little violin just for you. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 3 has been dated by Netflix. It's coming on May 19th.
Oh, exciting! There goes that day.
It also came with a small trailer as well, which I didn't even bother watching. I don't need to see a trailer for Kimmy Schmidt season 3. I know what it's going to be. It's fine.
That is the thing. I know what it's going to be. I know I'm going to watch it. I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Best part of it's still going to be the opening intro song, and none of the show will have to do amazing things to get me to change that opinion.
I'm a fan of the show, and I still might agree with that. That's a great opening song.
Unbreakable.
It's so good.
A miracle. Oh, it's so catchy.
It is.
I can't remember it all just now because it's been a while since season 2. But like after I watched season 2, I was singing it for
like a month.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And then last thing in the quick little tidbits is The Sinner, which is a show we have talked about before. It's coming to the USA Network. It's Jessica Biel, Bill Pullman's in it. It's about a woman who, for reasons that she doesn't seem to know at the time, just randomly stabs some guy in public. Yeah. And there was a trailer for it this week, first sort of teaser, first footage we've seen of it. It seems to be that it happens on a beach. Bill Pullman's like a psychiatrist after the fact, trying to like figure out why the hell did you do this, you crazy woman, and that's the premise of the show. But there was like a minute-long trailer they'd released a couple of days ago, and we both had a look at it. It looks
all right. I mean, it looks
fine.
competently made, if nothing else.
Yeah, it didn't give me like visuals that made me go, oh wow, this might be the next best thing ever, but it also didn't look bad. It looked fine. So,
no, it looked like solid, decent TV.
So yeah, well, obviously it's something we would check out anyway. But the trailer is out, so you can go and check that if you want on YouTube or your favorite video streaming service, which is YouTube.
Probably YouTube.
Yeah, because competition's long dead.
And then you're here watching this, so
that is also true. If you're watching this, you're on YouTube already. So go watch the trailer. No.
Wait till you're done with us first, obviously.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
Then go watch it. Or pause it, new tab, and then come back.
Yeah, it'd be weird to go, pause this video on YouTube, open a new tab, go to Dailymotion, see if they've got a version of the trailer, because they might have it.
You never know.
Or Vimeo, I don't know.
Vimeo's probably got a better shot than Dailymotion.
I don't think so, not for something like this. I feel like Vimeo's more original content, whereas I feel like Dailymotion's the one that's more likely to have like copies of trailers and stuff.
Vimeo's the one where if it went up early, it'll have been on there.
They'd have some sort of deal or exclusive thing or whatever, but yeah. Dailymotion has the copyright content. Vimeo has
Everything
created
else.
content that
Yeah.
people have actually made that value their stuff. Not that we don't value what we've made, but I'll rephrase this. Vimeo is more for stuff like short films and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's typically what you get there, amongst other stuff. More kind of produced content in that kind of sense.
I don't understand why it's put on YouTube, but whatever.
Reasons. All right, let's get into some meteor news. Okay, this first one's not particularly great news. It's something that I don't know if I've mentioned before. I knew it was going on. I vaguely remember reading it was happening, but I never really got much of the details. But it's came up this week, and I thought, well, we'll give it a little bit of time. We'll talk about it. So, were you aware that Sony are being sued for Tameless?
I was not.
You're not aware?
Oh
of this?
no, I was actually from a. Is it from a different country show?
Yes, it's from Spain.
Yeah, Spain. Yeah,
Well,
I do remember.
The show in question is and I apologise for this in advance, El Ministerio del Tiempo. Oh, that was okay. But Spanish viewers are cringing, but everyone else, I
Probably.
think, was probably okay with that. So that's the show that they've been claimed to have ripped off. And there's a lot of similarities. It's three people in a time machine. The other big similarities is the woman character. It's like two guys and one woman, and the woman character is also a historian on this show.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things there. The reason why it's in the news is because Sony and whoever else asked the judge to throw it out. They wanted it just to be done with. Let's get rid of it, and the judge said no.
Oh, interesting. Because I thought it was dismissed a while ago, which is why I kind of wiped it from my mind.
And a US District Judge, Stephen Wilson, in a ruling issued on Wednesday, denied the motion to dismiss the lawsuit. Right, there you go. That's that. The other point, though, which gives him a little bit of credence, this does sound kind of fishy. Assuming this is all... obviously, this is all from the claimant, but
Yeah.
assuming this is all accurate, this does sound quite fishy. So the producers claim that they began negotiation with Sony for a deal for a US version of the series in July 2015 and exchanged deal proposals. But in August, that was when they announced that Eric Kripke and Sean Ryan were producing a show called... at the time it was called Time, but now it's called Tameless, obviously, for NBC. Funnily enough, it was like right after this where they contacted the makers of this show and said, "Nah, we don't think we're going to do it. But nah, it's fine."
I mean, like you said, that's all from their side, so we don't know. If it's accurate, they should have the documents that they can pull up quite easily of these conversations.
Well, perhaps that's why the judge didn't throw it out, because there is actually...
Yeah. If that's there, then that's pretty solid.
It's funny because the way I would imagine this happened, then this might turn out to be bollocks. I feel like the elements that if they did steal elements, I feel like it wouldn't have been the creators that did it. It would be like they hired the creators to develop a show they had an idea for, and if it was the studio or the producers who stole the idea, if
It's more likely, yeah.
whatever. I find it hard to believe that creators would come on to it and say, yeah, we'll steal their stuff.
Yeah.
It feels weird for them to have done it. If there is any case there, obviously I've not seen the Spanish show. Also, it's based mostly on the pilot, I think, so they might have a case. One of the things the judge said is they have to look at beyond just the pilot. So it could be that the actual overarching plot is
So drastically different.
different down the road, that maybe they don't have a case in that sense.
Yeah, because I remember reading this a couple of months back where this I thought had been dismissed because they said how it's such core basic stuff for time travels, like they're going back and doing this stuff, and it's just a group, and having a historian can make sense logically rather than being a unique plot point. So because of that, they weren't sure that it would actually go that far.
Yeah, it's them working out a deal for a US remake and then
That's
cancelling
the bit
that.
that'll be holding it. Yeah.
At the same time that they announce, this other show with these people.
Yeah.
That's the fishy. That's the really
That is
fishy
the fishy
bit.
part.
That's really fishy.
Very
Obviously, we've grown to quite like Timeless. It's gotten pretty decent as the seasons went on. So hopefully this doesn't affect it too negatively. I think the one upside would be is that even if they decide to we're going to cancel it because all this trouble's not worth it, they'd still be getting sued for the season that already aired, I'm pretty sure, so it's not...
They would, but they may hold off on renewing it if they're like, well, we could kind of just shelve this publicity by ignoring the show.
Yeah, because they obviously may not want the publicity, and also, I mean, who knows, maybe they'll have to pay per episode or something ridiculous like that. And if that's the case, it's like, well, cancelled, done, we're not paying anymore.
Yeah. I can see them at least holding off on the renewal, because why draw attention to it if they kind of just ignore it?
Maybe that's why they were asking for it to be thrown out right now. Maybe they want to make those decisions, and they were wanting to have this
they
set
want to
in
be able
stone.
to do it quickly. Yeah. It's possible. And it's annoying because I do hope it gets renewed.
As do I. Finales
this week.
Aye, it was the first half of the. Yeah, finales this week. Yeah, I'm forgetting how many episodes we've had. All right, so let's move on to some other things. So I will say this: there was a lot of news this week that I ignored, much like I did last week, where it was this pilot's found a cast member, this pilot's found a cast member, casting in this pilot, casting in that. There was like probably 15 casting articles that I just went. No,
I don't even look for the news, and I saw a good handful myself.
The reason why sometimes I'll put casting stuff in, even if we don't know who the actor is or we don't have much of a bearing on the source material, if it's based on something. And the reason why I'll do it sometimes is because we've not heard about that show in a while. The reason why I really do it is just to remind everyone, it exists, it's coming.
We're not actually moving forward.
We've not spoken about it in a while. Whereas we spoke about all these shows either last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. It just
within the last month, for sure.
Yeah, so it just felt like, we're just going to be reading the exact same synopsis along with this actor's been added as this character. The one bit of casting that I did keep in here, though, was for a show that's not been talked about in a while because it was actually greenlit to pilot over a year ago. So
I think I've seen this one, yeah.
Yeah, this is Scalped. This is based on the Jason Aaron comic book. And it's actually WGN America who's making the pilot of this. And two different actors have been cast in this. I've not read the book. Have you read the book?
I have not, no.
No. It's very Native American based. And the book comes from 2007. It's a modern day crime story set in the world of Native American reservation. The project explores power, loyalty, and spirituality in a community led by the ambitious Chief Lincoln Red Crow, as he reckons with Dashiell Badhorse, who's the villain, who has returned home after years away from the reservation. Very well timed hiccup there, thank you for that. So, first cast member of the cast is Lily Gladstone. She's going to play Carol Red Crow, which is the daughter of the Chief Red Crow. She's going to be set against her father and down a self-destructive spiral meant to punish him as much as herself. Fiercely independent and intelligent, Carol gradually becomes to discover the influence she can play on the Resi's future. Res being short for reservation. Yeah, but it's got a Z or a Z. It's a fancy little nickname. It sounds like the hip way I said it, the Res.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like a fancy club.
Yeah. Alex Miraz, he's been cast as the villain, Dashiell, which I think I'm pronouncing right. Forgive me if I'm not. But he was exiled from the Res by his mother at age 13 and returns home after 15 years as a criminal with a mysterious agenda. His return sets him on a violent path of self-discovery about his place on the Res and on a collision course with both his estranged mother and Red Crow. So that's two of the prominent characters that have been cast. I don't have much to say about the characters per se, but I just wanted to say, this show still exists. It's happening.
Yeah.
And it's, especially this one, because this has been a while since they've greenlit it.
I forgot this existed until I saw it this past week. I was like, oh yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, so
and
there you go.
I may end up reading some of it, because I do really like Jason Aaron.
I don't know, I feel like I'm tempted to say don't, because I feel like when the show hits and we're talking about it week to week, it might be more fun if we've not...
I can't promise that. We'll see how it goes.
Right, okay.
Because it could be a while till this hits yet, if they're just casting now.
It could be on by the end of the year.
It could be, but that's plenty of time for me to forget small details.
But I can't speculate if you've read the book, though.
You can.
No, I can't.
We were doing it in Preacher.
I only read a little bit of that, though.
Well, I'll just read a little bit of this.
Why must you be awkward? Just don't, you can read it after. You can.
But that'll be years.
So there's plenty of other stuff to read.
Yeah, but what if I want to read that?
Next up, Amazon's put in development a show. It's a comedy called Late Bloomers, a half-hour series. Ben Stiller's production company Red Hour, plus some other ones, are producing it. Late Bloomers follows a 40-something couple that is randomly selected for a human trial of experimental drug therapy that halts aging. In a culture obsessed with staying young, the series explores the be careful what you wish for reality of extending life and the unexpected ways it impacts marriage, children, friendship, career ambitions, and the eternal quest of meaning, or for meaning. Very high concept for a comedy.
Yeah, it is.
So, they...
I mean, I guess it sounds alright. It depends on the writing, this one. It's a fine idea.
I imagine there's going to have to be some time jumps, because I feel like if you just set it out, linear and same time,
you won't see the agelessness.
Yeah, presumably to show the effects, you have to jump ahead to when their kids are like older and they're still the same age.
Jump forward like every 10 years or something.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like, well, they're aging just as slow as anyone else does, as far as we're concerned. You'd have to do some time jumping to really sell it, but I don't know, could be okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to tell. Because it is such a concept for the comedy that they typically live or die on those when they have an idea like that. And I'm not sure this is enough to live on.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Well, sticking with the comedies, this is also the last comedy.
So, this is a light week.
Yeah, only two of these. IFC has ordered a scripted comedy called Living With Yourself, 2 series, so you'll be getting a season of it at the very least. The story centres on George Eliot, a man who is burned out and facing an impasse in both his personal and professional life. When George undergoes novel treatment to become a better person, that's another medical, fictional...
Is that the trend this year?
Apparently. When George undergoes a novel treatment to become a better person, he finds he's been replaced by a new improved George, revealing that his own worst enemy is himself, and raising the question, do we really want to be better?
I can see that being fun.
Possibly. Especially if it's kind of like he becomes a better, but the old version is still like a sort of force ghost following him about and like analysing, wait, why is this version of me better? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe they switch, maybe they treat it like 2 personalities.
I thought maybe like they physically replace him and there's 2 separate people.
Oh, you thought it's 2 physical people? You may be right.
Yeah.
The way I read it though, it's like they actually make him a better person, but because he's still analysed, I'm thinking...
Maybe. Did they not say the word replace? Or something?
A novel treatment to become a better person, he finds he's been replaced by a new and improved George. Well, yeah, but... If he's
I took that as a...
Yeah, but if it's not a cloning program, why would there be 2 of them?
We don't know that. That could be the treatment.
If there ends up being 2 of them, I deeply don't understand the whole point of the entire thing. Like,
I think the point is that they make a second one that is better, and then he witnesses what this better one does, and he's like, hang on, I could have done that the whole time.
Okay. But then why was that replaced, though? It's not. That's more like...
Well, he's clearly locked away and he escapes. Clearly. This is so obvious, Pete.
No, it's not.
I really hope it's exactly how I've just said it, just so I can bring up this video.
I don't know.
Not.
I'm not sold on it being like a completely like 2 physical people thing. I think it'll be 2 like minds in the one body fighting for, or not, maybe not even fighting, but it could be physical. I mean, living with yourself, that can either be taken literally or like non-physically. So
we'll wait and see.
Ah, dear. If you want to just make a show about clones, make a show about clones. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you can't just say that anymore. That's boring. You got to have a new medical treatment.
So different. All right. Next up, this is actually a bit of news that we did miss last week, but I'm kind of glad we forgot it because this week was later, so this gives us something else to talk about. And the reason why we missed this last week is because it was missing in a lot of places because it wasn't like a formal announcement. It was kind of like an accidental announcement almost. Netflix have announced that they are doing an animated Castlevania series. Castlevania, of course, the video game series that started all the way back on the Nintendo Entertainment System and was quite popular for a couple of generations. Recent years, not so much, because Konami are the ones that own it, and Konami be Konami. But it's going to be animated, and the doc, it was a... it was in like a slate of things. It was just like they didn't make a proper announcement for just Castlevania. It was just in a list of things that were coming up.
But it got noticed.
Yeah, obviously it got noticed because it's the internet and people sleuth things out. But even more suspicious about it though is that it's going to have a season 1 part 1. It's not going to be a full season 1 that goes up. It's going to be season 1 part 1, and that part 1 is going to consist of 4 30-minute episodes. So presumably there'll be at least another 4 episodes that'll be part 2.
Yeah. Remind me who this is from, because I know we did know.
So that obviously could be on Netflix. It's actually coming from a couple of different places. The people who did Adventure Time got the rights to it 12 years ago. Also, Warren Ellis said he was working on an adaptation of Castlevania 3, which was about a year ago, and he's actually listed as a producer on this new one.
Yeah, because that was it. It was Ellis that he'd said at one point he had a draft written for a 2-hour movie.
Plus, Ade Shankar, who worked on Dredd, is also involved. It's been described as a super violent, dark, satirical, and after a decade of propaganda, it will flip the vampire subgenre on its head. Which does sound promising.
I did hear one of the producers talk about it, how they're likening it to Game of Thrones, because that's what everyone does now.
Well, that part doesn't thrill me particularly, but everything else I just read I liked.
Yeah. Well, everyone goes, oh, let's make it like Game of Thrones, don't they? It's such a thing now.
I hate when they say that, because that makes me think I'm not going to like it.
It depends what they mean. I think they mean the political factions and how it's kind of, like there's all these different groups and you follow different people from different ones. I think that's what they're getting at.
Yeah, but I'm not super knowledgeable about the games, but I don't think it was different factions per se.
No, I know, but I think that's what they're doing in this. I'm sure, because I did read an interview. I did read it before last week's news, so it's a little bit hazy now.
Everything you're telling me I don't like. I like this until you started talking, you dick.
I tuned out when I read Ellis's name, I'll be honest.
That doesn't bother me. And guy from Dredd, yeah, super violent. Obviously it's a cartoon, but it's not for kids, so that's worth knowing.
Yeah.
Also, the summary here, it will follow the last surviving member of the disgraced Belmont clan, trying to save Eastern Europe from the extinction at the hand of Vlad Dracula Tepe himself.
Sounds pretty good, like I said, other than
that still sounds
for me.
That still sounds like it's a main character, though. It doesn't sound like it's going to be an ensemble.
It does there, yeah. Maybe I'm misremembering the interview that I read. They definitely, because I remember all the headlines were like, Game of Thrones and political factions and stuff like that. There was definitely those words involved.
Alright, well here's news of the week.
Oh?
Yeah, news of the week is not Castlevania. This is far more interesting.
Unless you're Tim.
Unless you're Tim. Hey, I like the idea of I just never had a Nintendo growing up, so I never got into it till I was older. I'm tired, so words be difficult. J.J. Abrams and Stephen King.
I have not heard this. Is this fresh news?
It's fresh. It's straight out of the oven.
I mean, how recent is this announcement that you're going with?
In the last 24 hours?
Oh yeah. I'm out of the loop today.
Alright, so Hulu is the place, which is interesting because they obviously worked together on 11/22/63, which was also on Hulu last year, so worth mentioning that. This came with the teaser video.
Which you did not tell me to watch.
You didn't have to watch it. I'm going to tell you there's no footage of the thing in it. It's purely text and stuff. It's, but basically it's going to be. I mean, they don't actually say it right what it is because obviously it's Abrams. There has to be mystery and whatever.
Of course.
But it's called Castle Rock, which is a fictional town, which is a lot of Stephen King's books are based in. It looks like it's going to be some kind of ongoing shared universe Stephen King show.
So they're going to kind of move through a bunch of his stories.
Because the teaser was like, it was going to different places on the map, and it was saying, okay, there's the Shawshank Prison, here's the where the woman from Misery lived, here's where Salem's Lot is, and various other things. And it came out and said Castle Rock, which is in Maine. That's where it's going to be set. So it's about this town. It's going to be a creepy town show. And if I was to guess, just kind of from my own kind of just deduction here, What I think it's going to be, I think this is somewhat inspired by the success of Stranger Things. I think it's going to be a small town show that brings in the plots from various books as it goes on.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Is it like this season is this story? Like, is this season is this book, and then go through them like that, or does it kind of weave in multiple stories at the same time?
It could be anything. It could be a mix. I'm thinking a mix of between the way Fargo kind of does different Coen Brothers plots, but maybe with the same core cast going season to season. I don't know.
Okay, should be interesting.
Certainly, the way it did the map thing tells me it's not an anthology. I don't think it's an anthology, even though that'd be the easy way to do it. Say this season is this book, and then next season is completely separate, and it's this book. The way it did the map and made a point of drawing lines between them all makes me think, no, this is going to
Unless
be...
that's meant to be like a tease, going, "Hey, look, we're going to do this one and this one and this one."
I don't think so.
It's not all at once.
That's not what it says to me.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen it because you didn't tell me about this in advance, so I can't deduce it from myself.
It's not whinging, you don't need to see it.
Well, I'd have liked to have seen it.
It's just text. You're
Atmosphere.
fine. You're fine. Some music, some text, that's all it is. It says from J.J. Abrams and from Stephen King and...
Could have got sense of the atmosphere. Would have been nice.
Yeah, creepy horror, it's Stephen King.
Well, could have seen it for myself.
Would you stop whinging?
Well, next time, tell me. So do we know when this is coming or anything?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
It's just the announcement that it's happening.
Yeah.
All right. That's still pretty cool.
Next up, we got a drama coming from Stars, which is being greenlit to a straight-to-series order. 8 episodes. It's called Heels. I do remember briefly talking about this at some point. It's a wrestling drama. It's set in about two brothers, rivals. One the villain, aka the heel, which is a wrestling term for the bad guy. The other the hero, which is also called the face. Again, wrestling term for the
I remember this because you explained what the heel was to me when this came up.
So you get the heel and the face, and they're brothers. Real conflicts play out in fake matches as they war over their late father's wrestling promotion, vying for national attention in small-town Georgia. This could be interesting. I actually kind of like the idea of like real beef like coming up when they're trying to pretend to put on a show fighting.
Yeah.
I can see some humour in that. I can see some...
I get that.
See some irony. I don't know. I think there's something there.
Yeah. I think it's hard for me to care that much, not caring about wrestling. I mean, I'll try it, but it doesn't excite me because of that.
I don't think you need to, though.
I don't think you need to, but it's hard for me to get excited about it when the topic is something I actively don't care about.
How's that different from any, like, profession that a lot of shows are based around?
Well, I don't know, I feel it a lot with all sports movies, though. I find it hard to care about most sports movies before I see them because I don't care about the sport. I go, well, okay, I'll watch it if I hear good things. It's rare. It's kind of the same thing with this, where I'll never seek them out unless I hear something good.
Well, us being us, we'll watch the first one.
Yeah, we're going to watch it for this, obviously.
Alright, next up, Showtime are developing the Ali Summit, which is a civil rights limited series about Muhammad Ali objecting to fight in the Vietnam War when he was drafted. I actually didn't know this ever happened, so this was a complete new thing to me when I read it. The Ali Summit captures the seminal moment in the civil rights movement, the gathering of 12 of the nation's top black intellectuals and athletes to first vet and then ultimately support Ali's conscientious objection to the Vietnam War draft 50 years ago in 1967. The series will explore the intersection of civil rights and sports that continues to resonate today and tracks the FBI's crusade against Ali, Jim Brown and the other black leaders in the lead up to Ali's arrest for the draft evasion at the peak of his boxing career.
This sounds interesting. Who's this from?
Stars. No, sorry, Showtime. Stars was the last one.
I get them mixed up as well.
Yeah, doesn't say how many episodes, but it's a limited series.
Okay, so probably no more than 10. Maybe 13.
I would think even shorter than that, to be honest.
Yeah. And just as a maximum.
Yeah, as a maximum, sure. I'm getting like 4 to 8 vibes from this.
Possibly, yeah. Limited doesn't necessarily imply shorter that much.
It doesn't.
Just that it's one season.
Just given the subject, I don't know. It feels more like an 8-episode thing.
It depends how much. Because if it is 10-13, it might feel over dramatized.
I think it's a decent idea to do a show about this. I don't know if I'm necessarily immediately into it. It's really going to depend on the quality of it.
Oh yeah.
If it's more docudrama style, I don't know if I'm going to be that into it because that style doesn't necessarily appeal to me all that much.
No, I get that.
Um,
It is hard to tell what it's going to be like. I mean, I'm interested in the idea of it, and I'll check it out, or at least I'll, unless a trailer kind of puts me off.
I mean, it's interesting. I didn't even know this happened. I didn't know he was drafted. I didn't know he refused. This is all a part of
It's
history.
very educational then.
Will it be entertaining to watch? I'm not sure. That's the other
Yeah, I
question.
think I said that about something similar last week, didn't I?
But I can't remember, but probably.
I think it was something similar in the sense that it was like, yeah, this will probably be educational. This will be very interesting and topical, but is it going to be entertainment that I want to watch?
So moving on to the last news story of the week. Stars once again, and the BBC are co-producing a limited series called Hubbards End, and it's based on the classic E.M. Forster novel. It's going to explore changing landscape of social and class divisions at the turn of the century England through the prism of three families: the intellectual and idealistic Schlegels, the wealthy Wilcoxes from the world of business, and the working class Basts. Hilary Hartwell's going to be in it, which is maybe the most interesting part of the news.
I can see your enthusiasm waning when it's a BBC period drama.
It's going to be 4 1-hour episodes.
Well, at least it's short, if nothing else.
I have no interest in watching a minute of this, but continue. I have nothing like.
You just hate BBC period dramas.
Yeah, I've got nothing proper against it, but literally every word that came out of that paragraph just made me go, nope,
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with it. Thank you very much. I'm gone. Bye bye.
Yeah, that's fair. There's nothing to say it'll be bad, just that Peter will hate it.
Yes, I will hate this. I will absolutely despise this. There's a reason why it's at the end of the news. I always put something that I care the least about at the end, and
Yeah, it's usually CBS.
it's usually CBS, but CBS take a week off, so this got the short straw. Oh dear. So yeah, that's this week's news. I am super excited for Castle Rock. That sounds like good fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah. Shame we didn't watch that teaser. It was quite good. So we're going to pick our favourite episode of TV of the week. I don't know what I'm picking this week. Actually,
I know what I'm picking. I'm pretty confident.
I thought it was much easier last week. Last week, Legion stole the show, quite head and shoulders.
Oh, it did.
This week, it's not quite as clear cut.
I think I'm pretty confident. I'm going to go with The Expanse because it had my favorite episode of the season yet, I think, and one of my favorite episodes of the show in general, and I really loved it. So yeah,
I'm probably going with The Expanse as well. It was a really solid episode.
and Legion obviously took a step back and kind of relaxed a little bit, settled into a groove.
Plus, obviously, Flash and Legends were off this week, so a little bit less competition. Not that I necessarily think they would have beat The Expanse this week, because The Expanse was great, and it's typically a better show, but
Yeah.
there you go, that's this week's news. We do have a new HBO show starting this Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah, the one with, is it Cameron Diaz? No, Nicole Kidman's in it. Reese Witherspoon.
oh yeah.
Big Little
yeah.
Lies. Is it Big Little Lies?
I think that's about right.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
Something about lies.
I just remembered that I was about to outro the show, so I thought I'd mention it. I don't think I'm going to be super into this, but as always, we'll give the first one a try, because why not?
Yeah. I mean, what do we do? It's
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be my thing. I feel like we'll watch it, we'll go, yeah, the quality's fine.
is this a drama or a comedy?
It's a dramedy.
Uh,
So it's about 3 housewives, sort of middle class, upper class, and they all start wanting affairs. I think was the gist I got from the trailer. That was
I'm really not excited about this.
nah, it wasn't tickling my fancy.
This is not our thing, is it?
But you never know. We could watch it and go, man, that filmmaking was on point. We could be floored by this.
Yeah, we could just go, oh, this was a lot of fun. It's
I don't
unlikely.
think
It's
so. Yeah, I
possible.
don't think so, but that's possible. But no, there you go. That's coming up on Sunday night, so we'll have that either late Sunday or sometime on Monday, depending how things go. But no, there you go. That's this week's news. Quieter week, but maybe this will be the norm for a little while as things calm down before we get to all the the season pickups come April, May time.
April, May, yeah.
But anyway, guys, that's us. Let us know what you thought of some of this news in the comments below. Were you excited by any of the new shows we talked about? Like and subscribe and all that stuff helps us out a lot. Thank you very much for watching. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. Get our individual Twitters on the screen. Check out all the reviews went up over the past week. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.